Hello everybody, Eric again. Like and subscribe. Here we go. Let's continue reading about Weird Al Yankovic. Negative. One of Yankovic's most controversial parodies was 1996, A Mesh Paradise, based on Gangsta Paradise by hip-hop artist Coolio, which in turn was based on Pastime Paradise by Stevie Wonder. Reportedly, Coolio's label gave Yankovic the impression that Coolio had granted permission to record the parody, but Coolio maintained that he never did. While Coolio claimed he was upset, legal action never materialized, and Coolio accepted royalty payments for the song. After this controversy, Yankovic has always made sure to speak directly with the artist of every song he parodied. At the XM satellite radio booth at the 2006 Consumer Electronics Show, Yankovic and Coolio made peace. On his website, Yankovic wrote of this event, "I don't remember what we said to each other exactly, but it was all very friendly. I've up. I will be invited to Coolio's next birthday party, or at least I can't stop wearing that bulletproof vest to the mall." In an interview in 2014, Coolio extended his apology for refusing his permission, stating that at the time, "I was being cocky and shit and being stupid, and I was wrong, and I should have embraced that shit and went with it," and that he considered Yankovic's parody actually funny as shit. In 1996, Red Hot Chili Peppers' bassist Flea told Behind the Music that he was unimpressed and disappointed by Yankovic's 1993 song, Bedrock Anthem, which parodied the band's songs, Under the Bridge and Give It Away. He was quoted as stating, "I didn't think it was very good. I enjoy Weird Al's things, but I found it unimaginative." Refused parodies. On numerous occasions, Prince refused Yankovic permission to record parodies of his songs. Yankovic had stated in interviews prior to Prince's death in 2016 that he had approached him every few years to see if he's lighten up. Yankovic told one story where, before the American Music Awards, where he and Prince were assigned to sit in the same row, he received a telegram from Prince's management company demanding he not even make eye contact with the artist. Among parodies that Yankovic had ideas will include one based on Let's Go Crazy about the Beverly Hillbillies, Yellow Snow, as a parody of Purple Rain, 1999, as an informal with a call-in number ending in 1999, and parodies of Kiss and When Doves Cry. Despite these refusals, Yankovic was able to gain permission to parody the When Doves Cry video as part of his music video for the song UHF. He later wrote Traffic Jam for his album Ellapalooza in the style of Let's Go Crazy without Prince's express permission. Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page is a self-proclaimed Yankovic fan, but when Yankovic suggested the idea of creating a polka medley of Led Zeppelin songs, Page was less than thrilled with the prospect, so Yankovic didn't pursue it. Yankovic was, however, allowed the opportunity to re-record a sample of Black Dog for a segment of Trapped in the Drive-Thru. Paul McCartney, also a Yankovic fan, refused Yankovic permission to record a parody of Wings Live and Die, titled Chicken Pot Pie, because according to Yankovic, McCartney is a strict vegetarian and he didn't want a parody that condoned the consumption of animal flesh, though McCartney suggested possibly changing the parody to Two-Foot Pot Pie. Yankovic, who is also a vegetarian, found this would not fit the lyrics he had written, which featured the sound of a chicken throughout the chorus. While he never recorded for an album, Yankovic did not play parts of Chicken Pot Pie as part of a larger medley in several tours during the 1990s. In 2003, Yankovic was denied permission to make a video for Couch Potato, his parody of Eminem's Use Your Style. Yankovic believes that Eminem thought that the video would be harmful to his image. In 2006, Yankovic gained James Blunt's permission to record a parody of You're Beautiful. However, after Yankovic had recorded You're Pitiful, Blunt's label, Atlantic Records, rescinded this permission, despite Blunt's personal approval of the song. The parody was pulled from Yankovic's Straight Outta Linwood because of his label's unwillingness to go to war with Atlantic. Yankovic released the song as a free download on his MySpace profile, as well as his official website, and plays it in concert, since it was not Blunt himself objecting to the parody. Yankovic referenced the incident in his video for White and Dirty when he depicts himself vandalizing Atlantic Records Wikipedia article. Yankovic was considering a complete polka medley with only YouTube songs, but the band's publisher did not accept the terms. Similarly, he had included Weezer's Buddy Holly in a polka medley, but had to pull it when the band's publisher refused to receive partial rates. Yankovic had approached Beck asking for permission to parody his song Loser, which Yankovic had created, called Suchmuser. At the time, Beck was just entering the music industry and did not want his reputation to be seen as a one-hit wonder and refused the parody. Beck stated in 2022 that he wished he had given Yankovic permission, saying, "I think it would have been an amazing video. I'm actually really sad that it didn't happen." Although the parody was refused, Loser was used as the opening song in the alternative polka from Bad Hair Day. Yankovic had planned to make a parody based on Hedwig's theme from the Harry Potter film series, but had been refused by Warner Brothers Pictures. Yankovic said that perhaps if he did a parody based on the franchise, it's usually better just to do it and ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Live performances. Yankovic often describes his live concert performances as a rock and comedy multimedia extravaganza with an audience that ranges from toddlers to geriatrics, apart from Yankovic and his band performing his classic and contemporary hits. Staples of Yankovic's live performances include a medley of parodies, many costume changes between songs, and a video screen on which various clips are played during the costume changes. A concert from Yankovic's 1999 tour, Touring with Scissors, for the Running with Scissors album, was released on VHS in 1999 and on DVD in 2000, titled Weird Al Yankovic Live. The concert was recorded at the Marin County Civic Center in San Rafael, California on October 2nd, 1999. For legal reasons, video clips apart from those for Yankovic's own music videos could not be shown for the home release, and unreleased parodies were removed from the parody medley for the performance. In 2003, Yankovic toured overseas for the first time. Before 2003, Yankovic and his band had toured only the United States and parts of Canada. Following the success of Poodle Hat in Australia, Yankovic performed 11 shows in Australia's major capital cities and regional areas in October of that year. Yankovic returned to Australia and toured New Zealand for the first time in 2007 to support the Straight Outta Linwood album. On September 8, 2007, Yankovic performed his 1,000th live show at Idaho Falls, Idaho. Yankovic has invited members of the 501st Legion on stage during performances of his Star Wars-themed songs. Yoda and the saga begins, recruiting members of local garrisons, club chapters, while on tour. In appreciation, the 501st inducted Yankovic as a friend of the Legion in September 2007. He performed his first ever European mini tour, including an appearance at the All Tomorrow's Parties Music Festival in Minehead, England in December 2010. Yankovic was picked to perform by the Canadian band Godspeed You, Black Emperor, who curated the festival's lineup. Yankovic played 3 other dates in the UK around his festival appearance before performing a single date in the Netherlands. A second concert film, Weird Al Yankovic Live, the Apocalypse Tour, aired on Comedy Central on October 1st, 2011, and was released on Blu-ray and DVD 3 days later. The concert was filmed at Massey Hall in Toronto, Canada, during Yankovic's tour supporting the album Apocalypse, As before, video clips apart from those for his own videos and unreleased songs were edited out for legal reasons. Yankovic performed George Harrison's What a Lie at the live recorded George Fest Los Angeles 2014 DVD and Blu-ray CD combos of the concert honoring Harrison became available in early 2016. Following the release of Mandatory Fun, Yankovic toured across the United States, Canada, and selected overseas venues in the Mandatory World Tour from 2015 through 2016, principally featuring songs from his album. After taking a year off, Yankovic returned to tour in the United States and Canada from February to June 2018, in the ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised Vanity Tour. On this tour, he performed mostly original songs, not parodies, and did not use costumes, props, and video screens. Not the end. Comedian Emo Phillips was the opening act. A further staple of this tour was Yankovic's cover performance of a different famous song at each venue, which Yankovic stated was something he and his band enjoyed doing. Starting in June 2019, Yankovic went on his strings-attached tour, where he performed every show backed by a 41-piece orchestra assembled from local musicians. The tour was inspired by a 2016 performance he did with the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra, which he considered a religious experience and sought to replicate on tour. The shows were generally much shorter, as under union rules, Yankovic could only perform 90 minutes per show with an orchestra, requiring him to select songs that he felt would be ones that he had either long wanted to perform with an orchestra, such as the deep-cut Harvey the Wonder Hamster from Ellapalooza, or that fit bass with the orchestra backing. Yankovic had the shows open with the orchestra performing a few instrumental themes, seemingly giving the concert a high-brow quality, before he and his band entered and played his songs. Backed by the orchestra, the concerts finished with a large, flashy production of his Star Wars songs, including The Saga Begins and Yoda. Yankovic toured again in 2022, following up from his 2018 tour with the unfortunate return of the ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised Vanity Tour, focusing on his lesser-known songs. The tour included 133 shows, concluding with Yankovic's first performance at Carnegie Hall in October 2022. Yankovic said, "I love doing every single incarnation of my live show. But honestly, the Vanity Tour is the most fun I ever had on stage, so I've been dying to get back out there and torture everybody with it once again." Yankovic toured in 2025 with the bigger and weirder tour with 65 different shows, including his first ever performance at Madison Square Garden. Legacy and Influence, with World Crimes from Mandatory Fun debuting at number 39 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2014, Yankovic became the third musical artist after Michael Jackson and Madonna to have a song in the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100 over each decade since the 1980s. His other top 40 songs being Eat It, Smells Like Nirvana, and White and Nerdy. Since then, only U2 and Kenny G have also entered this group. Billboard named Yankovic number 15 of the top 100 music video artists of all time in an August 2020 compilation, addressing that alongside his musical fame, his accompanying video parodies are a vital part of the recipe. With his 4-decade career, Yankovic's work has also influenced newer artists. Annie Samberg of the group, The Lonely Island, considered Yankovic an influence during his childhood. Lin-Manuel Miranda directly credits Yankovic as an influence on his musical Hamilton. Television producer Michael Schur considered that Yankovic's music represented a deep egalitarian spirit of our culture that allowed his comedy writers to reflect on society within his shows. In 2020, Mark Waddell, a researcher at Georgia Tech, created an algorithm that generates lyrics to match the rhyme and syllable schemes of pre-existing songs. The algorithm was called Weird Al Yankovic in reference to Yankovic's similar song parodies. Other works, films, UHF, main article, UHF film. In 1989, Yankovic starred in a feature film called UHF, co-written by himself and manager Jay Levy, and filmed in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a satire of the television and film industries, as also starring Michael Richards, Fran Drescher, and Victoria Woodruff Jackson. It brought Flundering Studio Orion their highest test scores since the film RoboCop. However, it was unsuccessful in theaters due to both poor critical reception and competition from other summer blockbusters at the time, such as Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, Lethal Weapon 2, Batman, and License to Kill. The failure of the film left Yankovic in a 3-year slump, which was later broken by his inspiration to compose Smells Like Nirvana. The film has since become a cult classic. Fans bought it on eBay for high prices before it came out on DVD. Yankovic occasionally shows clips from the film at his concerts, to which MGM, the film's current owner, initially objected in the form of a cease and desist letter, in an apparent attempt to make it more accessible to overseas audiences, where the term UHF is used less frequently to describe TV broadcasts. The film was titled The Vignette from UHF in Australia and parts of Europe. UHF shows the creation of Yankovic's signature food, the Trinky Wiener Sandwich. The snack consists of an overturned Trinky split open as a makeshift bun, a hot dog, and easy cheese put together and dipped in milk before eating. Yankovic has stated that he has switched to using tofu hot dogs since becoming a vegetarian, but still enjoys the occasional Trinky Wiener Sandwich. Weird the Al Yankovic Show. Main article, Weird the Al Yankovic Story. Weird the Al Yankovic Story. Main article, Weird the Al Yankovic Story. In 2010, Eric Applepel produced a Funny or Die trailer for Weird the Al Yankovic Story, a fictional biographical film that parodies other films based on musicians. Yankovic, played by Aaron Paul, is seen hiding his weirdness from his parents, Gary Cole and Mary Steenburgen, making it big using song parodies with the help of Dr. Demento, Patton Oswalt, falling in and out of love with Madonna, Olivia Wilde, and fading into alcoholism and being arrested, at which point his father finally admits he is weird as well. Yankovic himself plays a music producer in the short. Yankovic and Appel announced in January 2022 that they would be making a full-length biopic of the same name based on the trailer, starring Daniel Radcliffe as Yankovic, Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna, and Rianne Wilson as Dr. Demento. The film premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in September 2022 and was released on the Wonku channel in November 2022. The film's soundtrack album includes several re-recorded parodies featured in the film, along with an original song, Now You Know, among other nominations and awards. The film won the Best Television Movie at the 75th Primetime Creative Awards, Emmy Awards. Primetime Creative Arts, Emmy Awards. Television. See also The Weird Al Show. In 2012, Yankovic exclusively featured in the 6th season episode of 30 Rock, Kidnapped by Danger, in which Jenna Maroney disruptively tries to come up with a Weird Al proof song. In 2014, he performed at the 66th Primetime Emmy Awards, singing a comedic medley of songs based on the themes of several Emmy-nominated shows, including Mad Men and Game of Thrones. Yankovic and Miranda appeared on the July 21st, 2025 episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert a few days after news that the program would be cancelled, showing support for Colbert, alongside with a number of guest cameos from other late-night talk show hosts. LTV, main article, LTV, following the success of Eat It and its subsequent music video in 1984, Yankovic was the host and writer of specials on MTV and VH1, directed by Jay Levy and Robert K. Rice, known as LTV. These specials were usually 1 to 4 hours in one time and consisted of sketches and other comedic gags throughout the show. The gags mainly consisted of commercials for imaginary products, fake celebrity interviews, edited to appear as if Yankovic is really interviewing said celebrity, and letters from fans, along with various other subscriptors. 10 specials were aired, and with the first day airing on MTV and the last 2 airing on VH1 in 2006. A special similar in promise, titled L Music, was broadcast in Canadian audiences on the Match Music channel. Bye for now.